It's Macy's Labor Day sale, so gear up as summer cools down with 30% off timeless looks from Levi's and specials like 30 to 50% off statement-making shoes for her and 60% off luggage from Samsonite and more. Or use your coupon or Macy's card and get an extra 20% off more great deals. Plus, Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster during Macy's Star Money Bonus Days, going on now. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Welcome to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you, personally and professionally. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm an entrepreneur, patient advocate, content creator, and author. You may know me from the Everything is Messy book, brand, and podcast. But what you may not know is how hard I had to work to get me to where I am today. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And in this season, I'm more driven and extremely passionate about my purpose, to help you save the time, money, and energy it takes to be happier and get healthier with your mind, body, business, and life. Tune in every week to hear raw, unfiltered conversations from myself and my incredible guests as we discuss trending topics, share stories of resilience, and chat about all things health, wealth, healing, and wellness. Whether you're here to listen, learn, or laugh, I promise to bring awareness and add more value to your day. Take this time to relax and recharge. Listen, life is short. Invest in yourself. Be loud, be different, be you, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. Buckle up, because today's podcast experience starts now. One more thing, sharing is caring. I would love your thoughts on today's episode. Head on over to Apple Podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Want to continue the conversation? Let's connect online. You can find me at kellyanngorman.com, and all my social links are in the show notes. Now let's get into today's show. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Kellyanne Cares podcast. I am your host, Kellyanne Gorman, and I wish that you could see the amount of coffee that I just dumped into this cup. I got these massive water cups for my friend the other day, and I just stole one and filled it up with iced coffee to the top. I actually just went to get my tires rotated. Turns out it was opposite day, and they were on correctly. Anyway, story of my life. I'm sure I'll do a TikTok about that later. But I wanted to welcome you back because today's a very important episode. I'm very passionate about patient advocacy. And I just would like to preface this episode by saying I am not a doctor. I'm not an attorney, although I played one on TV. Just kidding. It felt like it, but it was my real life. That's all over this podcast. And I actually did a TikTok about this the other day, about my 6 medical malpractice legal cases I represented myself in and closed them in 18 months in the middle of the pandemic. And yes, I am so proud of that moment. It was the most stressful part of my life, I think, worse than being sick and going through chemo. But here we are. Turns out I'm obsessed with helping people get organized, both personally and professionally. And today I'm going to help you do it with your health and your medical records. Patient advocacy is so important to me, and I have so many people that message me every single day asking me for consults, for help, for tips and tricks, like how did I do this? How did I do that? So today I'm going to share it all in a podcast episode. And I'm also going to do some other TikTok videos on this as well. But I would also like to share what just happened. Okay, so I am in the middle of like a Big Lots World Market Target parking lot in Las Vegas on a busy road, because that's where the tire place was. Why is it when you are parked somewhere, there's an entire parking lot, somebody has to pull up right next to you? I mean, he chose like maybe 5 spots down, but like you couldn't go diagonal. You couldn't go all the way around. Like you have to be in my little bubble. Why does that happen? When say you're like at a mall, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but like say you're at a mall in a food court. I don't even know when I did that last because I never go to indoor malls, but you're sitting at a table, or like at the library because I go there all the time to work. Or like Panera or wherever, like somebody has to sit right freaking next to you when they have the whole area that's open. Why? Why does that always happen? Can you tell me? There has to be some psychological meaning behind that, or like why people choose, like, you want to be close to me. Now I just like, I'm looking at the guy and I'm like, I wonder what you're doing. Are you taking calls in your car? Oh, he's drinking a coffee. I wish this was a video podcast. For moments like this, that you cannot make this shit up, I will do a TikTok. It'll be on my stories later if you're listening to this live on Friday. Today is July 23rd, 24th, I honestly have no idea. Every day is a blur when I'm in Vegas. Thank God I'm organized. So let's go back to the topic of this conversation. I also put milk in my coffee because I forgot to make almond milk. My homemade almond milk for like the 10th time this week. So I'm actually putting I put cow milk in my coffee. So we may have to make this episode short. Just keeping it real. P.S. This is also going to be an unedited cut. I'm in my car. The AC is off so that there's no humming. It's not yet 110, so hopefully I won't die. It's very early in the morning, so let's just get into today's episode. This is episode number 329, where I'm going to be sharing a lot on patient advocacy and how to organize your medical records. It's time to get your shit together. If this is the episode that is giving you your push, reach out to me if you need help, because you need to get these documents and get organized when it comes to your health. Because the last thing that you are going to want to do when you are sick or you're a caregiver, your kids are sick, is look through paperwork. You have to get this shit done beforehand so it's ready to go, because it's a very traumatic experience. It's extremely stressful when something is going haywire with your health, anybody else that you're taking care of. It's just so stressful, period. We all know this, right? So get it together. Get it organized before, God forbid, something happens, and just get prepared. Now, I myself, I'm not OCD, but I like to organize in a very extremely Here comes another car. What is going on? Do I have a sign on my car that just got finally washed, thank God, saying, oh, the guy next door is eating his McDonald's. Come park next to me? Why? Why do people do this? Anyway, okay, so we need to get you organized before, God forbid, something ever happens, okay? But first, I want to say, you have every right to anything that comes out of your mouth and your body. It's your body, your choice, right? If you are at a doctor and they're saying, no, you really need to do this, it is okay for you to get up and walk out. You may feel a little weird. That's fine. I've actually screamed at the top of my lungs at a neurologist in an extremely busy, top-rated Vegas neurology office before. Was I covered in hives? Was I crying hysterically? Was my voice hoarse? Abso-fucking-lutely. Did I save my own goddamn life? Yes. Sorry for the swear. But these are just things you need to understand, walk away. You cannot let anybody intimidate you when it comes to your body and your health. Also, your children's, or if you're a caretaker. You have the right to get up and walk away. You can get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth. At the end of the day, I had 11. That's a whole nother story. But you can get whatever it is that needs to be done in a way that you feel most comfortable. Will you maybe have to wait for a referral to kick in for another specialist for a couple months? Yes, you will. But if you are organized and you're constantly following up, you may get that cancellation. So this is why you need to be on your A game. Chop, chop, chop. When it comes to being your own advocate and your children's advocate, and if you're a caretaker, you need to be on your A game. You need to be organized. You need to be scheduled. You need to have all of these things ready to go. So when the time comes, you're good. You're golden, right? So let's talk about how I organize my stuff. And again, I say this with everything. You know what? I got to turn the AC on. What the hell was I thinking? Welcome to my life. Okay, so let's just put it on low for now. Okay, so as I say with everything when it comes to being organized, I'm sharing my way. You can take whatever I do and make it your own. For example, I say this always on TikTok when it comes to business and my planner, which, by the way, I'm going to start doing mock planner organizing tips and tricks probably next week on my TikTok. But I like everything in rainbow colors. And I was doing this with a friend the other night, and the reason why I highlight in rainbow colors, each color means something, is because when I was going through chemo, I couldn't remember shit. Chemo brain is a real fucking thing. And I could not remember anything. So each color reminded me of what I had to do. So like pink is fun stuff, orange is client meetings, yellow is like mandatory things I had to do, like my morning routine, evening routine. Green is bills, blue is medical appointments, dental appointments, and purple was always my podcast. Those colors kind of stayed the same, to be honest. Pink is now like content creation. But that's my system. When I looked at my week at a glance, my month at a glance, I knew what I had to do based off the color. So that's when that all started, like years and years ago. So if you are into color coding, go ahead and do that. I literally sat down with my friend. I was like, okay, you need to list out like how many things you need to take care of. Like you have the kids, you have the games, you have like work, you have schedules. Like each one of those needs to represent a color, your color that's going to remind you like, okay, this is that, you know, don't like copy mine because those colors aren't going to make sense for you, you know, just figure out what makes sense for you. So the same thing goes with, organizing in your planner, your notebook, your folders, your files, like however you want to be organized with your stuff. Maybe it's head to the dollar store and get little folders and write on a Sharpie like the kids' names or whoever you're like a caretaker. And this is great for a nurse too, by the way. Somebody that's caretaking. Like if this is your job, maybe like you're on the road, maybe your stuff's like all in your car. That's not really safe if you're taking care of patients, but like get your shit together and get a little bit more organized, and then you won't be so stressed with your job, maybe. I mean, I've actually seen it with my own two eyes. That's why I'm saying that. But I have different systems for like monthly receipts. I have the month. I tallied up at the end of the month, like for bills and stuff like that, for my expenses. So when it comes to medical records, I would suggest getting a file folder, you know, like one of those accordion things with those little annoying tabs on the top. I know it's so annoying, but like that works. And you can have that dedicated, or even like in a drawer with everybody in your family, their names, or whoever you're taking care of. Like every individual needs their own area. Let's just say that. So whether it's envelopes, whether it's a accordion system, like file folding, each person needs its own area. And then to make it even more specific, say you have a family and a couple of you have different diseases, different things going on with your health. Each doctor needs an area. So I had like 15 doctors at one point. So I had 15 folders. Because, you know, when you leave and then you get discharged from the hospital, what do they give you? A shit ton of paperwork that we don't want. But if I didn't have that shit ton of paperwork, I would not be ready for my legal cases. And I had that shit organized to a frickin' T. And did I come to Vegas from San Diego a couple times to get physical copies? Absolutely. Did I get CDs? Absolutely. When you get MRIs, when you get scans, anything radiology related, get that CD in your hand. Because one of the reasons why I was misdiagnosed was because a radiologist read a report wrong and he typed it. So the neurologist was basing that off of, he never put his own damn eyeballs on my stuff, on my MRIs. He read a report. That report was wrong. So based off of that, you need your own physical copies. So whenever you go to radiology, you need to ask, and they're going to say, oh, you need to come tomorrow. Usually it's 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes if they're busy. The whole 24-hour thing, that's kind of a lie if you ask me, because I've heard that a million times. And I'm like, oh, no, actually, I've always gotten it in like 15, 20 minutes. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll just like rush it for you. Why do you need to, especially now, waste more money on gas to make another trip to get your physical scan? That's yours. That's your body. That's your scan. See where I'm going with this? Okay. So you need to get physical copies on everything. Paper trail. Now, we live in a world where we live on our phones and our devices and apps and the whole nine. I do. I mean, I know I'm always on my phone. And so now let's dive into patient portals. The way I do things is that any patient portal that I'm logged into, like specialists, hospitals, primary doctors, like any doctor you visit, dental, whatever, you need an email and you need a password. So however your brain works, figure out a password that you're not going to forget. Obviously, that's like common sense, right? But if you're doing this when you're stressed out, you know you're going to have to change that password when you try to get back in there. Let's just say that's a fact. So this is why I'm helping you, because you want to do all these things beforehand so that you're organized. God forbid something happens. It's like one less stress, right? We all need one less stress. So what you're going to do, what I do is I create contacts for all of them, like an actual contact in my phone. And I do it in shorthand. So if for some reason somebody had my phone, they wouldn't know what the hell that meant. I write it in code. But I know, say I'm going to UCSD, I put UCSD, but the email is in short code. The password is real, but like they wouldn't know what that meant. Nobody would know what that means. So I just put them in my phone as contacts. Some people might say, oh my God, that's awful. Like, why don't you use Password Keeper? I don't know. That's just always been my system. That's how I like it. When I need to remember something, I immediately go to contacts. That's my method. So do what works best for you. But I'm just saying you need to have those emails and passwords somewhere, because you need online patient portals for every single doctor that you go to. Because here's a great example. I went to the emergency room a couple months ago, and my printouts didn't say anything about having a disease or medications. My online patient portal did. And one of the nurses saw it, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not sick anymore. And do you know how many times I've been to that emergency room and I never noticed that? And I'm like, that's my mistake. And I said, you need to cross that off and put that I was misdiagnosed as of XYZ, you know, like the date. And all of these medications, I legit got vertigo in the emergency room because the nurse was reading off all these prescription meds I was on when I was doing chemo, and that triggers my PTSD, which then gives me vertigo. Welcome to my life. It doesn't happen very much because I'm healthy. I don't go to the doctor anymore, but I was there for, I forget why. When I strained my vocal cords. So good news on that. I'm finally getting into my UCSD specialist in August. Hallelujah. It's been like 6 months. So, and just in case you're wondering, the guy next to me is still drinking his coffee and enjoying his delicious McDonald's. And now I'm hungry. I may have to take a trip to the Golden Arch. It's so unhealthy, but sometimes you just need it. And I just ice rolled my face the whole way here, and people were staring at me in morning commuter traffic. But I don't care, because my lymphatic drainage is way more important than your 2 cents looking at me in my vehicle. Okay, now let's get back to sidetrack, sorry. Let's get back to the very important topic of online patient portals. So that's the moral of the story. You need to make sure that you are logged in, that things are correct. Like, say you got gastric, say you had a life-changing surgery and you're super healthy and you lost 80 pounds, and that shit needs to be updated because it affects your blood. It affects how they're going to diagnose you with things. It affects the medicines they're going to give you. Get up to date with that. So do it beforehand. Every first of the month, I always do all of my end of month preparation and my new month preparation. So maybe you should start incorporating this into that routine, however you feel necessary. So if you do things every Sunday to prepare for a new week, maybe just check your patient portals and be I know this shit is you're thinking in your head right now, Kelly, there's no time for this. I'm way too busy. Just put it on your running to-do list. Just do it once a month. Just check things out, make sure they're good, and then move forward. That's it. Just make sure everything's current and up to date. I don't need CVS pharmacy calling me, telling me I have some nerve damage pill ready to be refilled from 5 fucking years ago. I don't need that. This is the point. That actually just happened. So I want you to make sure that everything is lined up. God forbid something happens. Now, let's get into, I'm looking at my notes here. Healthcare proxy, your will, and power of attorney. You need to go through these. You need to have them set up. Now, let me explain to you the difference. So a healthcare proxy is somebody that's appointed, that you appoint, because you're body your choice, to make legal decisions on your behalf for medical decisions. Oh, my McDonald's friend just left. Adios. Medical decisions. Power of attorney grants authority to make financial decisions on your behalf. You need to have both. When I had to do my will and create all these documents when I was sick, I had 2 of my best friends on there. One was money, one was health. It was just easier because one was in California, one was in Nevada. When it comes to the legal documents and the will, that needs to be something that coordinates the distribution of assets after death, God forbid, and can appoint guardians if you have minor children. We all know what a will is, right? But I'm just saying. Healthcare proxy and power of attorney are very, very important documents to have because God forbid something happens, you can't make a decision. This is, when you see in movies and TV, like somebody needs to pull the plug. They were their healthcare proxy. They were able to make that decision because those papers were lined up. And I'm sure if you've gone to the emergency room, they always ask. Mine need to be updated. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm not going to say, like, everything's perfect. No, it's not. I just noticed a ton of mistakes because I'm in Nevada and I had to get a prescription filled, like I just mentioned. And these weird things were happening because it's pulling up old records. I live in California now. I'm just here for right now. So it's pulling old shit up. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. And that's why I'm like really even more passionate because, everything happens for a reason. I'm like, I need to record an episode on this. Because I'm not perfect. Like, I should have already made sure that shit was wiped out. But I was like, peace out, Nevada. Like, I don't care what's in your system. Like, I'm in California now. But now I'm here for, another couple weeks. And I'm like, I had to get a prescription filled. And then I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, all this stuff is still here. Even with a new phone number. So just get all your ducks lined up. Make sure, like, when you have time to, like, get this shit checked off your ongoing to-do list and just, you're going to feel so much better. I know right now, like, everybody's healthy and we're good and life is so busy. But when it's not, you'll thank me that this was done. And just take an hour. Just do, like, one kid at a time, one patient portal at a time, one trip to the dollar store at a time. One trip to Target I'm literally like naming the stores that are here. Big Lot, World Market. I have more friends joining me because all these stores are about to open. So just do it. Just make a list. Like I always say, check one thing off at a time and make sure that you have all of your actual records, your actual CDs organized in a way that you know and remember where you can find them. Create a highlighting system, Sharpie system if that's best for you, if that's how you remember. An Excel document, if you need one of those, I have one on my shop. It's not even $10 and you could create anything that you want in there. It's completely customizable. I think it's like $9.97. If you go to everythingismessy.com, it's there. The link in my Instagram is there. It's literally everywhere, but just go to everythingismessy.com to check it out. And it's all over my TikTok if you want to like see how I use it. In all different aspects. I use it for podcasting. I use it for track my social media stats. I use it to organize my clients. Like, there's so many ways that you can use this form because it's so customizable. There's no formulas. You just make it your own. And you can see all my different ways on TikTok, like I just said. So, I don't know. I just felt like this episode was really important to record because all these things were happening to me. And, like, I kind of have, like, my guard up when I'm here. Because I am in Las Vegas, and this is when, like, all this shit just went down. Went down, not just, but you know what I mean. And as you can hear my voice, like, I feel okay talking about it. Sometimes I get, like, really triggered. But I just want to make sure that, like, you're good to go. God forbid something happens. Like, just get organized with your health and your medical records. You know to eat fruits and vegetables. That's going to make you healthy, keep you on your A game, like eat protein, like whatever you need with your diet. This show isn't going to be about that. It's about getting organized with your records. Patient advocacy is so important to me, and this is just part of it. Like, get organized now. That way you don't have to do it when you're sitting in an emergency room, like dripping sweat and stressed out to the max because something happened to somebody that you know, and you can't log into it in Cow, and you can't have access to your friend or family member because these papers aren't filled out. Don't get yourself in that kind of situation. So just take like little baby steps. That's it. That's all I wanted to share today. And also I wanted to remind you of two really, really important things. Actually, three. My newsletter. When you sign up for my newsletter, you get the digital version of Everything is Messy delivered straight to your inbox. So if you want a copy of my book digitally, do that. Also, I share really good coupon deals and stuff going on in my life and my business and all of that. So go to kellyannegorman.com and do that today. My LinkedIn newsletter, it's got a lot of important podcasting information. So you can, all these links will be in the show notes. Subscribe to that one as well, or just that one if you want. Brand deals. I am obsessed with saving time, money, and energy, both personally and professionally. I mean, I say this all the fucking time. So if you want to start making money, like free Amazon shit, use Fetch Rewards. If you want to save a shit ton of money on your gas, like 50 cents a gallon, do the Get Upside app. All these codes are on my brand deals page on my website, kellyanngorman.com. Again, link in notes. Lastly, my brand new program, On Demand, a 2022 business experience. If you are looking for a virtual assistant, personal assistant, online business manager, high-level executive coach, guess what? I'm all of them. And it's like a 3-in-1 service. It's perfect. Go to kellyanngorman.com, check it out. All of the discounts are noted for you there. It's available for 30, 60, 90, and 6-month options. You save $300, $600, $900, I think it is, dollars when you buy more months in advance. And we work together. I'm in your back pocket. I revamped my entire program so that I can help you level up both personally and professionally. I say this all the time. I say it in my book. I'm like preaching it constantly because that's what I love to do. Get you organized, get you monetized, whether it's with your podcast or with your business, and just get you to where you want to be. By the way, lastly, I have a couple of copies of my book that are signed that I can pop in the mail for you this weekend. If you would like one, if you want to send one to a friend for a gift, let me know. I can address them, write a cute little note for them. If you want it for yourself, I can still write you a cute little note. Let me know. Head to my TikTok or my Instagram or Facebook, wherever you follow me, and let me know. You can also message me on my website, and we can connect, and I can send you one. I would love to do that. I think I have 3 left. Yeah, I think I have 3. I have more in my storage unit, which I actually need to get this weekend. But I wanted to share On Demand because it's a program that is almost sold out right now. I think I said 1 or 2 spots left. Did I tell you that? I'm not sure. I actually think I have 1 at the end of the day. Spot left for next month, which is literally next week. How fucking crazy is that? Anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to share. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I just played one, like in my real life. I'm a professional patient, just really passionate about patient advocacy, and getting organized with your health and medical records is key to having a hell of a lot less stress when it comes time to deal with something that you weren't expecting. I really need to finish this coffee. Health related. That's it. I'm sorry if you hear a lot of humming. I'm in my car. It's in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. It's hot as hell. The sun is beaming in my car now. And this is my current recording studio. I was, now the hiccups, going to another place to record. Turns out it's not soundproof. So, here we are. By the way, I cannot wait to be in my brand new studio very, very soon. Oh, you know what I forgot to share with you? One last thing. My friend Jace reminded me, and this was years and years ago. Hi, Jace. Shout out to Jace. When we were working together launching her show, I helped her develop her podcast. She uses this program called LastPass. I actually have a client now that uses it, but I never use it because I'm just writing and producing for her, so I don't need it right now. It's called LastPass, and that stores passwords without anybody seeing them. So say Jace set up all her social media accounts with passwords. She didn't want me to see her passwords because obviously it's security or whatever, but wanted me to have access. That's what LastPass does. And so you can go ahead and use that for your patient portals as well. If you wanted to have somebody else have access but not actually have their password. I asked her that yesterday, and she's like, no, you can use it for everything. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I want to share it on the show. I have an account, but I never use it. But if you need that, LastPass it's called. I'm not an affiliate, by the way, so I don't have a code or anything, but maybe I should be. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you have a great weekend. I really hope that this episode helped you, kind of give you a little push, maybe give you some more tidbits, my tips and tricks. Just know that it's your body, your choice. You could do whatever the hell you want. You could get up from a doctor's appointment. You can organize your records however you want, and you can speak up however you want, and just get organized. Just do it now. Just make it a plan to do it in sometime soon in the future. You won't regret it. If you know somebody that needs this episode, please feel free to share it. I promise next week I'm going to be fully caffeinated before I record. I promise. Speaking of next week, I'm going to do a podcast episode on podcasting. How exciting is that? Also, if you have any questions about that, I'll do a post this week and you can drop it on the post, let's say on TikTok and in my Instagram stories. If you haven't noticed, I don't post on Instagram really anymore because I hate it. I love TikTok. That's it. I hope you have a great weekend, a week, whenever you're listening to this, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for tuning in to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you. And I hope that happened for you today. As I mentioned in the intro, I would love your feedback on today's episode. Head to Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app to leave a review for the show. I would truly appreciate it. For more information on myself, the show, my book, and the programs, products, and services I've created, visit kellyanngorman.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the podcast community, and check out the brands I'm currently loving. Let's continue today's conversation. You can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Kellyanne Gorman Official. All my other social handles will be available for you in the show notes. If you have a product, brand, story, or service you would like to share on the show, send me a message on kellyanngorman.com today. As always, thanks for listening, sharing, and reviewing. I wouldn't be here without you, and I'm so grateful I get to do what I love each and every day. Wishing you a happy, healthy, positive, and productive day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas every time at BP or Amoco stations. That means more savings and more whatever you'd like to use your savings on. So treat yourself. It's on us. Visit bp.com/save to learn more.